So we finally got an official release date for the Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus update, which is March 7th. In my previous video about the game, I went over a ton of features and improvements that I'd love to see, but a lot of that was a perfect world scenario, not necessarily things I actually expect. At least not anytime soon, probably not until Spider-Man 3. I also stand by what I said in that video about not freaking out too much about the time it's taken for this update to arrive. Yes, New Game Plus and Mission Replay should have probably been in the game at launch for a $70 game, I agree. But honestly, I blame Sony for a lot of Spider-Man 2's issues more than I blame Insomniac. I honestly believe Sony rushed them to get this game out, and that's why in the third act in particular it feels so undercooked, and why so many expected features are either missing or feel scaled down. Now, the data breach situation has probably hindered them as well. I can imagine investigations surrounding that have had an impact on their workflow, so it just kind of is what it is. And right now, most people seem to be having a good time with Suicide Squad. I haven't played it personally, I can't afford it right now, but I do plan on getting it at some point in the future. Despite all the controversies around the story and whatnot, it seems like it's fun to play at least, so I'll probably get it when it's a bit cheaper. And personally right now, I'm just soaking up all the news I can about Dragon's Dogma 2, so I'm looking forward to going back to Spider-Man 2, because right now I just don't really have a reason to. The post-story is honestly boring. There's just a total lack of compelling side activities, and the random crimes, as I've mentioned, are really repetitive. So Mission Replay and New Game Plus are going to help with the tedium, but it feels like a bit of a band-aid to me, to be honest. It'll be nice getting to play the boss battles and the cool sequences again, but realistically, how many times are you actually going to do that? And what's the incentive to keep doing it? What Spider-Man 2 really needs is better side content. Now, I'm curious to see if that's addressed and falls under what Insomniac describes as highly requested features. We know we're getting the tendril color changing, which is great, but again, it doesn't really matter all that much if there's nothing we can really do after the story ends, because I'll just play it for a little bit, change my color tendrils, say that's cool, and then have nothing to do again. You know, it's kind of like being stuck in the same situation. It's a cool feature, I do want it, but I also want to have new things to do. And I'm not saying every game needs to be an endless live service with updates and new content all the time, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for a $70 game with a 10 to 15 hour story, we really should expect better, more substantial side content. I mean, look at Batman Arkham Knight from 2015. You've got challenge modes, Batmobile races, side villains, and some of those were paid DLC, but there were quite a few in the base game as well. Even Gotham Knights has a much more interesting patrol and random crime system, and an almost endless combat mode as well. It's not perfect and it was added post-launch, but it's something. Spider-Man 2 just feels really empty, with the same 5 or 6 random crimes recycled over and over again. Whereas I honestly feel like I could go back to Gotham Knights even now and actually enjoy just flying around fighting criminals. So my issue isn't how long it's taken to get this update. I can easily forgive them for that. My concern is whether or not it addresses the feeling in the game of being Spider-Man with a city to protect and patrol after your time is done with the story. I'm really hoping in the future we get something like what Santa Monica did with God of War Ragnarok. Valhalla was a real treat for fans, first of all being completely free and a brand new mode that was replayable. Spider-Man 2 would definitely benefit from similar content. So I'll update you as soon as we know any more about the features this update contains, but I'm setting my expectations fairly low, in all honesty. First of all, we know that we're going to be getting new suits, and it's not confirmed whether that's going to be new comic suits or movie suits, and we know at some point that we're getting these absolutely god-awful celebrity suits, which I don't know if you've seen these before. It might be your first time seeing them, and if it is, I genuinely apologise for being the person that's made you had to look at them, because they're just... I try not to be too negative on this channel, but oh my god, these are just terrible. So yeah, not to be too negative, but I am setting my expectations relatively low, because I'd rather do that and not be disappointed than expect something spectacular and be underwhelmed. As far as I'm concerned, it's probably just going to be New Game Plus, the weather system, the time of day system, some suits, and some quality of life features. I think that's reasonable to expect for the first big update for the game, but I'm very open to being surprised. And I know when Insomniac really put their hearts and minds to it, they're capable of delivering great stuff. Spider-Man 2 is a really good game, and I think after a few solid updates by its anniversary, it could be great. But time will tell. Let me know what you're hoping to see in the comments, whether you're also trying to set realistic expectations, or if maybe you're huffing copium and expect some massive update. Let me know. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video.